started with her. My name is Kimberly Duncan. I am a life coach with New Life. And Rachel, I saw that you were on here. I just want to make sure that you do the recording.
We're all set.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us tonight. And we have a super duper treat that is just going to knock your socks off. But before I introduce our guest speaker, I want to talk about the drawing and all the people that put their name in. So before I draw, let me just tell you who entered. Heather Meyer, Bob Warfield, Deb Espinoza, Debbie Morley, Michelle Walter, Michelle Howe, Barry Waite, Linda Laporte, Wendy Murphy, Denise Johnson, Wendy Johnson, Colleen Stewart, Leah, I don't know how to say her last name, LaHaye, Elizabeth Brown, Jen Jackson, Cindy Linney, Ann Sorensen, Kayla Alice, Tanya Duncan, and Kate Hamilton. So congratulations to all of you for entering the cycle bonus drawing. A little reminder what it's about is make sure that every week it's posted in the Discover Your Potential. And even if you didn't cycle, just put your name in there, because you will cycle, and it's just getting into the habit of talking about knowing that that's one of the ways that we get paid. So here I have all the names in the vase, and the lucky winner this week is Barry Waite. Congratulations, Barry. Way to go. And then the contest that started, I think, right before we went to convention. I'll just tell you the top three in the leaderboard. Jen Jobson, she's still holding strong at #1. And she's been doing a lot of great things, a lot of sponsoring and customers and putting people into the groups. And then we have in second place, very close behind her, is Michelle Walter. And then in the third place spot, actually, I just squeaked in Kim Duncan, me, into the third place spot this week. So, hold on, I just want to make sure. Danielle?
I saw her pop off.
Okay, I'm going to do my drawing.
Jackie.
Yep, I'm going to do my drawing real quick. My entrance this week were Davy, Danielle, Nancy, Anna, Jean Early, Heather, Paula, Carol, Bev, and Dana. And I'm going to pick the winner out of my lucky Red Sox cap. Yay. And the winner this week is Jean. Oh my gosh, I think she's won 2 times in the past 3 weeks. So yay for her. I'll get with her and give her her prize. So thank you, and I will hand it over to our special guest. Thank you.
I'm not sure if she's still on here.
If I shut this off, is it going to shut that off?
Let's see.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good, because I lost audio for a minute there. All right.
So here is, our special guest is Danielle, #1 female income earner, #2 income earner in the home company. She does a great job. I've had the privilege of doing some 3-way calls with her. Amazing, amazing, just her confidence and her ability to answer questions and be a listener. She also is one that does an amazing job with mindset and just knowing how important to get our mind focused and all of that is just top notch. So Danielle, take it away, girl.
So much.
So excited that you're here.
Happy to be on. Perfect timing. I just walked in the door, and this is great to see so many people on. We got a lot of exciting stuff happening. I want to make sure everybody's muted out so everyone can hear. Let me see who's unmuted. It looks like Nancy's unmuted. Everyone can mute that. Okay. Good stuff. So, the girls wanted me to focus on three-way calls, and I have to say that's the thing I do the most. If anyone were to ask, what do I do the most of all week? It's three-way calls. It's the way you build your business the fastest and bring in the most volume. And I think there's this mindset or belief. It's kind of a myth. You think that it's hard to get people on the phone. It really isn't hard, but I want to help you guys change or shift your perspective or change your mindset on that. Because most people are ready to get on a call if you present it the right way. They're easily going to get on the phone if you actually sell them on getting on the call. I don't want you to sell them on joining the business. I don't want you to sell them on trying the product. I want you to sell them on getting on the phone with myself or Rochelle or one of the girls or one of the guys who is adept, right? Who's competent at doing closing calls. What's interesting about closing calls are most people are already closed before they get on the phone. You think we're getting them on the phone to close them. If they're getting on the phone, they're closed, right? It's very rare that, and Scott hears me do this a lot when I'm at his house, because during the day, he's an engineer. He works from home. I work from home. And what's interesting is the days I'm here, he'll hear me do closing calls. At the end of the day, I'll be like 9 out of 9, 8 out of 8, 7 out of 7, whatever number of calls I did that day. It's very rare that I get a no. And it's not Danielle Rich only. It's across the board in the company. We get very few people who actually say no. There's such few objections that come up. And I've been in other companies, so I know about objections. There are very few objections now. I used to hear this all the time. Well, I have to ask my husband. Well, I have to ask my wife. Well, it's too expensive. We don't really hear that. So if they're getting on the call, chances are they're already in. But here's what I want you to do. I want to shift your perspective on why you're getting them on the call and how to sell them on getting on a call. If you've piqued interest and someone has seen the video, which could be the KG4, could be the Somaderm, could be both. I don't care. Once they've seen it, and by the way, don't ever put a leader on a call without confirming that your prospect has watched the videos. I had that happen the other day, and it ends up being 15 minutes of just trying to describe the company in a, kind of a really fast overview, and then you miss out on all the other stuff. So always confirm that your prospects watched it. If they haven't, they're not serious anyway. The worst thing you can do to a leader is have them try to explain from ground zero. You want the prospect to already be excited about Somaderm or KG4 or both. So let's say you've piqued interest and now they say, and I'm just going to use Oscar because I can see him in the bottom corner here. So let's say Oscar gets someone who says, yeah, listen, dude, I want to know more. I got questions. The last thing I want Oscar to do, I don't care what Oscar earns, if he's brand new or not. Last thing I want Oscar to do is go, yeah, let's get on the phone. No. What Oscar should say is I'm new, or I've been doing this a while, but I really want you to hear it from someone who became a 7-figure earner literally in the first 8 months. I really want you to hear and ask questions, pick their brain, break their chops if you want. But at the end of the call, just listen to me, bro, or just listen to me, honey, or just listen to me. Talk like you would to people. Don't sound scripted. If you say bro to someone and that's how you talk to them, call them that. If your friend's name is John, don't start calling him Johnny. It's John. However you talk in normal life, I want you to talk normal. This isn't hard, but sometimes people get kind of stiff about it, right? So let's say Oscar's guy says, yeah, I got questions. Just answer for me, Oscar. You tell me what you know. Well, I'd like to tell you definitely what I know, but I can tell you that getting on the phone with this one girl or this one guy, in 5 to 10 minutes, you can ask them everything you want. You can figure out if this is a good fit for you. And then John, then Mary, then Jane, if it's not for you, I still love you. We're good. We're cool. Because if at the last minute you don't say to that person at the end of that call, if it's not for you, it's okay. We're still friends. No love lost. they're afraid they're going to be able to be pushed into a corner. And Chris Kavanaugh taught me this. This is why he makes $300,000 a month, okay? He's been my mentor for 9 years. Let me tell you something. He's number one in the company. I'm number two. I say that so you understand something. There is a 50% jump in what he makes over what I make, and we signed in on the same day. So I think we should listen to Chris Kavanaugh. Yes? Okay. He knows his stuff. He's been in companies and made fortunes. Every company he's been in, everything he's touched has turned to gold. So when Chris, as my mentor, tells me something, guess what Danelle does? Exactly what he says. So here's what he taught me. He said, you have to be really good at dropping people's defenses. Okay, what does that mean, Chris? Talk to me. He said, listen to me. When you talk to someone about getting on a call or coming to a meeting or doing anything that interacts with learning about this business, your last statement should be with their first name, Beverly, Bob. I'm just looking at the people on my screen. Oscar. I'd say, hey, Bob. Bob turns around. Hey, Bob. So I'd say, Bob, if at the end of the phone call, which will be 5 to 10 minutes, I will not waste your time and I will not waste mine. No one wants to waste their time. At the end of this call, if after you've asked questions and heard everything, if it's not for you, we're still good. I still love you. When you do that, guess what happens? They're on that call in a heartbeat because they don't feel pressured. Their limbic system isn't freaking out. You have to be good at dropping defenses. I don't want you to sell people on joining. Here's what most people do that drives me nuts. And I've been saying this for 9 years in the industry, but guess what? We've all been working all of us that haven't been working together 9 years, right? But this is one that drives me crazy. I know some of you are going to go, I do that. Don't do this. Beverly, you'd be perfect for the gel biz. Oh my God, yes, you're going to make a fortune. You're going to be so good. Now listen, I need you at 2 o'clock. Are you good at 2? I'm putting you on with Danelle. Oh my God, we're going to have so much fun in this business. Do not tell people that they're going to be amazing, and do not. Beverly's laughing. This is what I hear all the time. Oh my God, like it's going to be so amazing. We're just going to make fortunes. And you haven't even figured out if the person has a need to make money. And if you know they have a need to make money, the last thing you want to do is push them into a business that they haven't even validated yet. They haven't done their due diligence. Does that make sense? So instead, what I would say to Beverly is, Beverly, I know you're interested in making more money. I know you've been struggling. I know we shared that about, you and what's going on in your life. I stumbled on something that I think is absolutely potentially the solution to your problem. Guys, these little phrases matter. This is how I ended up making the kind of money I'm making now. I learn these things and I use them and they work. I have something that I believe could be the potential solution to your problem. I want you to look at a 3-minute video if you're open-minded. Will you watch a 3-minute video if I send the link? I never send the link in that first statement because if they haven't said yes, guess what they're not going to do? They're not opening it. So I would say, Oscar, remember we talked and you said at the baseball game while we were sitting there watching the kids, you said you were looking to make some extra money because you got 2 kids going to college and you want to replace your car. Remember we talked about that? Yeah, Danelle, I do. Great. I have something that I stumbled upon that I think could be the potential solution to your problem. Do you want to take a look at a quick video? It's better than me chewing your ear off. I can chew your ear off for 15 minutes or you can watch a 3-minute video. Your choice. I always give them a choice. And you know what most people say? Send me the video, dude. I don't want to be on the phone 15 minutes, right? And that's what happens if they open the video. They either are crickets, which means they want nothing to do with it. That's okay. Or they say, this looks interesting. Let's talk. And what do I say? Yes, let's talk. All right, that's it. It's simply saying I have a potential solution to your problem that usually gets people to do what? Watch the video. Once they've watched the video, what's our next step? Chances are they don't want to be just a customer. Chances are you were talking to them about making additional income. Therefore, they're going to have questions. Your favorite thing to say should be, I know some stuff, but I don't know enough. I work with this powerhouse woman. I work with this powerhouse guy. I work with this successful woman, whatever you want to say, this successful guy. I don't care who it is, whatever leader you choose to do your call. It's not just going to be me. But let's just say you're talking about me. You would say, Oscar would say something like, listen, this girl went from like pre-foreclosure, in a bad marriage, in the middle of a divorce. The call came in 2 weeks before Christmas, and within 8 months, she was a 7-figure earner. I want to put you on the phone with her just so you can hear, just so you can ask her questions, pick her brain. And if at the end of that, if it's not for you, promise you, we're not here to waste your time. We're not here to chase anybody. I think this has some value. Please do your due diligence before you tell me no. That should be burned into all your brains. Another phrase. Mary, Beverly, Bob, Oscar, do your due diligence before you tell me no. That's all I ask, because I know what I have is a potential solution to your problem. So what am I creating, guys? Let's see who's going to win something tonight. What am I creating in that prospect's mind? What emotion? It's 3 words. Anybody? Nope, not curiosity. Fear of?
Missing out.
Loss. Who said missing out?
Tammy.
Great job, Tammy. There's 2 things I create when I speak to people: fear of loss and a sense of urgency. I tell them this timing is incredible. I'm not sure the timing is right for you, but I'm telling you the timing is right in this company. And by the way, if you don't look at it and you've already said no, you have no idea what you said no to, and down the road you may kick yourself pretty hard. So watch the 3-minute video, and if it's not for you, we don't have to talk. So what I do is show some posture, but have I ever sold them on joining? Did anything I just said have to do with joining? I don't sell. I share information, but first I find out what their need is. So I have a little system, and you should probably write this down. Step 1, create curiosity / figure out people's hot buttons. I am a master of finding that out. I want to know. I will ask questions until you tell me I have too much gas when I'm sleeping. Great. I have a product for that. Oh, I can't see when I'm driving at night. I've got a product. Get where I'm going? I love to make you guys laugh. Does that make sense? I want to know exactly what their hot buttons are and what bothers them physically and financially. All you have to do is be good at asking questions in network marketing. You do not have to have a lot of answers. You point to the answers. One of the biggest network marketers, God rest his soul, Mark Yarnell, who wrote Your First Year in Network Marketing, he passed away a few years ago. He's a very dear friend of mine and a business partner. He made $28 million back in New Skin in the 80s when we had cassette tapes. He would stand outside and he would walk up to people. He'd create curiosity and hand them a cassette tape. He built completely cold market and became a multimillionaire. 28 million back in the 80s. What's that now? Think about that. Okay, he did it cold, not warm, not with social media. And what he taught me was this. He said, 100% of the time, people just want to know that you care about what's wrong with their problem, what their problem is, that you care about what's wrong in their life. So if you get really good at asking questions, he goes, you never have to really know the answer. And I said, what do you mean you have to know the answer? He goes, you point them to the answer. So you point them to a video. You point them to a document. You point them to a webinar. You point them to a recorded call. You don't have to know a lot. He goes, I asked them questions, found out what their issue was, and handed them a cassette tape. Ask Chris Cavanaugh, guys. He knew Mark longer than I did. And Mark was named one of the greatest networkers in the world by Networker magazine. So what am I teaching you about what phrases you should use and how you should do this? If you want to get on a 3-way call, which is always the hump to get over, it's not once you're on the call, because you always are going to have an upline leader who knows what they're doing. So I'm not worried about once we're on the call. What I'm worried about is you guys getting enough people on those calls. Does that make sense? I want you getting 4 to 5 people on calls a week. You will absolutely bring in 2 to 4 people a week. No doubt in my mind. No doubt. But if you're not bringing in a couple people a week, how are you going to make money? You're not. You can sit there all day and fake it. But if you're not bringing your leaders some 3-way calls, how are you bringing in new distributors? Don't go it alone. Don't try to do it yourself. And don't ever think you're not worthy of reaching out to me or Chris or any other leader. That's our job, is to do this for you. Your job is to just say, I'm muting out. I'm going to introduce Danielle. I'm going to introduce, my prospect, and then I'm going to shut my mouth. It's a beautiful thing to be able to mute out and just listen, because you're going to get really adept and really competent at doing calls the more you listen to us. Does that make sense? So when I first started in the industry, I didn't know crap and I was terrified. I did over 100 calls in my first year without ever unmuting. I was so scared, which is kind of funny now because I'll talk to anyone and close anyone. I'd close the Pope right now if he called, because I believe that much in my skill set. And also I believe in the product and the opportunity. You don't want to put someone on a call that doesn't believe in this company, doesn't have, the spine that's necessary, right? So I have that spine, I have the posture, I have the knowledge, but there's so many people in this company that have it. You need to leverage us, and you're never too new to the business. You're never too, some of you think you're not successful in a certain amount of time, therefore you didn't earn our time. Listen, I don't care what you think. It's not truth. The truth of the matter is you borrow us and use us as much as you can until you're flying on your own. And if it takes you 2 years and someone else 2 months, I don't care. I just want you successful. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be shy. Always reach out. Always let us know you're hungry, because the hungry people get my time. So back to three-way calls real quick before we hit mindset. Someone's saying, can I interview Danielle? I don't know if that means now or on a video. Sorry. So back to three-way calls. So let's say Nancy. So Nancy has someone who says, I want to know more. Oh my gosh. Yes, tell me more. And Nancy's like, I don't know much. I'm rubbing this stuff on it. It feels freaking great. And I'm sleeping better, and I'm less cranky, and my menopausal symptoms have lessened, and my hair is thickening, and my energy's up, and I feel happy, and I don't know. That's all I know. Good. Be honest. And then you say to that person, but I can put you on with somebody who knows a lot more, and you can pick their brain for 5, 10, 15 minutes. We will not promise. I will not waste your time. That's another line I use a lot. So one of the lines is, I want you to do your due diligence before you tell me no, because I know this is a potential solution to your problem. That's number one. Number two, I don't want to waste my time, and I certainly won't waste yours. I want you to make the best. I want you to maximize your time in those 5 to 10 minutes with this person. And at the end of that call, if it's not for you, I still love you and we're cool because you did your due diligence. People get on the phone every time. Why? Because you sold them on. They're not going to be bullied. They're not going to be pressured. This is not a sales call. This is a chance for them to learn more about something that could be epic, whether for their health, their finances, or both. Does that make sense? Are you guys getting the gist here? So I know Rachel's writing this all out. I love it. And I would love to see you guys type these out on your team page or put them on a document and a PDF and save it to your units, because these are the things that are tried and true that I've been using for years that they don't fail me. And I'll say to someone, Bob, listen, I know you're skeptical. Dude, I was skeptical too. Just talk normal. Let's just talk, Bob. So, Bob, listen, all I know is the stuff works, and I know that I need some extra money, and you told me you do too. So I want you to do your due diligence, and then you can tell me no. Fair? It's fair enough, right? If after the 3-minute video that you've watched, we hop on a call and you get this, you go up one side and down the other of this, girl, I promise you, this is not a sales call. It's for you to figure out if it's a good fit for you and if it's the solution you've been looking for. I'd be remiss, this is another one I love. I'd be remiss if I didn't share this with you. It's a favorite of mine. Why? Because I would be remiss if I didn't share it with someone that I know has, menopausal issues or libido issues. Not many people talk about that. Hair isn't thick anymore. Energy is really bad. The recovery and stamina is down. They're fatigued all the time. Whatever the issue is, I'd be remiss if I didn't share it with you, Nancy. After the 3-minute video, they're usually like, okay, tell me more. And most of you are like, oh shit, I don't know what to say. I don't want you to say anything other than, then I'll put you on the phone with someone who knows her stuff or his stuff so well. We'll maximize your time. We'll be on the phone for 5 or 10 minutes, and I promise you I will not waste your time. But I want you to hear this for yourself. Do your due diligence before you tell me no. And Nancy, if after that call it's not for you, we never have to talk about it again. I love that. Who's not getting on the phone when they're guaranteed they're not going to ruin the relationship? It's okay to say no, and it's their chance to get all the information necessary to make an informed decision. Okay? So that's really it for 3-way calls. I mean, I gave you the goods, and I wish, well, we're recording this. I'm glad we recorded this because that's the first time I've done all of those sayings in one call. Any questions on 3-way calls before we go to mindset? Feel free to unmute. Give it another 30 seconds. If there's nobody, that's okay.
Danielle, how do we reach you? Do we send you a Facebook message?
So you're going to go upline first so I'm assuming that's Rochelle and Rachel. Okay. You're going to go to them first and Rachel and Rochelle, if I'm wrong, or Kim, let me know. But usually I want you to go upstream first to your first level of leadership. Then from there, they may say, we need to pull Danielle in on this, or they say, I don't have time, go to Danielle. Sometimes I say, go to Chris. That happens. Today, Chris did a call for me that I just didn't feel was a good fit for me. And he did it, an international call. So we try to go up the chain of command. I hope that makes sense. So that would be what I would do, just so that you guys are getting the support you need without circumventing the leadership that you already have. So I'm like grandma, okay? I'm not mom. Your moms and your dads are your first level, like everyone that you're working with, that's leading the way, that are in the trenches every day with you. Rochelle, Rachel, Kim, all of them. There's probably more. I'm just naming the 3 right now. But there's going to be times where they're overwhelmed or someone's on vacation, like Rachel was for a couple weeks. And guess what? I picked up a lot of the slack. I love that. But don't go to grandma if you didn't go to mom first. Once you go to mom, maybe mom said no, go to grandma. I'm not going to say no. Right? And then, great grandma is, no, there aren't any. I'm it. Great grandpa would be like Joe Giuliano or someone, even above me. Oh, Jackie's mom. Okay. So Jackie, I love Jackie. So does that make sense, guys? You definitely want to go first, Beverly, to them, but there's going to be times you're going to be like, yeah, let's start a 3-way text with Danielle. Let's let her take this one. Totally cool with that. Anytime. The only day I don't do calls is Sunday. Every other day of the week I work. Okay. Any other questions? Great question.
Thanks, Danielle.
You're welcome.
I have a quick question, Danielle. It's Tammy.
Sure.
At the end of, I've never really done a 3-way call, to be honest. So at the end of the call, though, do you guys close them? Like, do you ask them, are you ready to get started? Or do you go to that point with them? Or do they have to, do I go back?
I go right to, like Jen Jobson and I did the other day. I go right to, let's go through the packages. Or I say, Tammy's going to send you the packages. I have you guys shoot the graphic over to them so they could see the graphic, because I don't want to walk through each package. It's too long. Right. What I say is, we do have a high-end package. We have a mid-range and we have a low. Most people do the $289. And then there's people who go right for the $999 because they have a big family or they have a business. I want you to pick the package that fits you. However, the best way to start is at the biggest package because it's the biggest bang for your buck. And most people that do that tend to come out of the gates very quickly. However, it doesn't change your commissions. You don't make more for coming in at the big pack. I let them know it's their choice, but I always suggest that they immediately get a spot because they're willable, sellable, transferable positions. Sometimes you guys are going to put me on with customers, which most of you are like, really? You do those calls? Yep. Because 90% of the time, I upsell them to becoming a rep. Why not spend the extra $30? Get a position, willable, sellable, transferable, write off the entire purchase, and potentially eventually make a small paycheck to pay for your product, because a few people are going to see the changes in you, whether weight loss or energy or whatever, and they're going to want what you have. Why send it upstream? You get the commissions on that, and down the road you may turn it into a real thriving business. And they're like, okay, here's what most people do. Just grab a spot in the company because you know you're going to want to make money and you know you're going to want to build a business. No, what you want to say is, chances are you're just going to have a few referrals, people from work or family who see the changes in you. You might as well get your product for free. I'll teach you how to do that. Just grab a spot. It's $30 extra. It's a tax write-off. And down the road, maybe this turns into something you're really passionate about, like me, because after 5 weeks of being on the product, I was like, the whole world needs to know about this stuff. I know every woman going through perimenopause or menopause needs to know. And guess what? It turned into a 7-figure business for me. Just saying. That paints a picture for them of the possibilities. It's why they'll end up spending $30 more to get the package versus going with what? The $169.99, gel, or the $149.99 customer options. I don't want them as a customer. I want them as a distributor on the tree with a piece of real estate in our company. So Tammy, long-winded answer, but I want everyone to understand this. When I'm on those calls, not only am I telling them, yes, you're going to get the graphic, it's get signed in now, because we do these calls round the clock. And yeah, there's a sense of urgency to get a spot, especially when a company's in massive momentum. I don't know if you guys know, we just jumped from 10 million a month to 19, almost 20 million a month in the last 60 days. What company that's not even 2 years old yet is at 20 million a month in sales? We are. We're badass. I don't care what anybody says. We have a few detractors online who want to take us down. We're going to have more of that. The higher we go, the bigger we go. Don't get distracted by that. Be proud of that. Be proud we have some haters.
Thank you.
Okay, makes sense? Okay. All right, I'll take one more question. I just want to touch quickly on mindset. No others. Okay. So mindset is more important to me than anything. And here's why. Because when I went to see Eric Worre almost 5 years ago in Vegas, that was a game changer for me. That's when I learned attraction marketing. That's when I learned, and I saw that panel of 7-figure earning women, and they all said they didn't reach out to people. They only built it through the internet. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, I want to learn this. And so I'm like, if they can do it that way, I'm going to do it. I went home, I duplicated it. I copied what they taught me because I was doing home parties back then, guys. What a waste of time. Can you imagine if we were doing gel parties and rubbing gel on people's wrists and the back of their knees? Kill me now. Never again. Well, I'd get in a car. My husband would walk in the door. I'd kiss him and leave so he could stay with the kids so I could drive 30, 40, 50 minutes, an hour away to walk into someone's living room, hope that people were there, stand in front of a TV, hope to God people showed up, and then hope that they signed up and then leave and drive home. I did that 4 and 5 nights a week. It was burnout. And guess what? It's not duplicatable. Here's why I teach mindset, because when I went to Vegas and I learned about what Eric Worre calls category A and category B. He wrote on a whiteboard. Some of you have heard this story. And he said, most people start with B and ignore A. And I'm like, what is he talking about? He said, most people join a business and start doing what? Trying to do 3-way calls, trying to pique interest, and never do what? Get their mind to be a champion mind. They don't do the hard work first here in order to make part B easy. Guess what? It's actually not hard to do the business when your mind is right. It's the same thing when you're dieting. It's the same thing in a relationship. It's the same thing in anything you're trying to accomplish in life. If you have your mind right and it's set on success and you have zero backdoor, meaning there is no failing for you guys. Yes, you're going to have many failures along the way. You're going to fall down and stand up and fall. I don't mean that. I mean, if you have set your mind that you are worthy of having exactly what I have, exactly what Chris has. Listen, I don't know how I knew, but I knew I was going to be a millionaire. Does that make sense? Is anyone on this call that can say that they know that? And I'd be proud of you if you do. Okay, Tanya, I see a hand up. Okay. I think that was Tanya. And I don't know. I know that sounds weird. I want you to get this. It wasn't just about the money. It was, I knew based on my childhood and growing up on food stamps and consignment shop clothes and what it was like to have poverty in our family and have a poverty mindset around me my whole life. I always knew I was a Spitfire. People would say that. She's a tiger. She's a Spitfire. I didn't know what I was going to do with it, but I knew there was stuff in me that was like, I wasn't going to settle. Does that make sense? And when Chris got me into he didn't get me into the industry, but when he became my mentor, he called me when I was dead broke and losing my house. This was back in 2011. He said to me, I'm Chris Cavadon. I'm one of your upline. I said, yeah, I know who you are. Why are you calling me? Like, I was so excited. He goes, I want to invite you to Seekonk, Massachusetts in 2 weeks. And I was sitting, I remember it. I was in my old house, sitting on the sunken stairs to go into the sunken living room, the stairs. And I'm just sitting there. It's like the afternoon and the sun's coming in through the sliders. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy who's a multimillionaire is on the phone calling me. I was in the business 3 weeks at that point, guys. My first network marketing company. And I hit what you call platinum star in that company, which is a pretty good level. That's probably life coach. And he said, I've heard from some people you're a go-getter and that you're really hungry and I want to take you under my wing. And I was like, okay. Now my heart's pounding. Like, I have $100 in my bank account and my house is in foreclosure. At that point, my marriage wasn't over yet, but it was not in a good place. And he says, I want you to come in 2 weeks to Seekonk, Mass. The owners of the company that we're in are flying in, and I want you to meet them at a private dinner. Guys, I didn't even have money to buy a suit. Like, I was like, what am I going to freaking wear? Like, I'm like, holy crap. And he said, I want to tell you a story. And he told me the story of a company that introduced aloe to the market. Does anyone on this call know that company? It's a network marketing company that introduced aloe to the market back in the 70s. Let's see who knows. It's a famous company that some of you are going to know and some of you aren't. Nope, not Herbalife. He said people made absolute, not Melaleuca. He said absolute fortunes when aloe was introduced to the market by one company, one of the first network marketing companies in the world. Not Shackley. Nope. Keep going. I'm going to give you one more second. Amway. Nope. It's called Forever Living. Anyone know that? Yes, Rachel. Forever Living. And guess what he told me? He said people didn't even know when aloe got introduced to the market by Forever Living that absolute fortunes were going to be made. But the people who got in before the momentum and before it went viral, and it went viral, guys, they're still in business. No one knows that aloe was brought to the market by a network marketing company. How cool is that, what you learned tonight? And he produced such a fire in my belly that day. He said, I want you to get there. And guys, the day before I was supposed to leave, my grandfather was moved into hospice and he passed away. I come from a very entrenched Italian family, old school. And I had to get permission from my grandmother to miss my grandfather's wake and funeral. And I don't know why I knew in my gut I had to be there, even though I knew I'd probably get written off. And I mean, I thought my grandmother would cut me off. I got a call from my dad and he said, your grandmother gave her blessing. She said, your grandfather always said that you had the millionaire mindset and he'd be proud of you. Go do what you have to do. Now that was a big deal because I cried my eyes out. I knew I was going no matter what. Like I had to do that for my family, but I went and Chris stood up at the meeting with maybe 15 people in a private room. And he said, this girl here, everybody keep an eye on her. She missed her grandfather's wake and funeral. And I wasn't proud of that. I'm like, shut up. Don't say that. And he said to be here because she knows the how big our company is going to be. Guys, I went home after that weekend. By the way, I had like $114. I don't know why I remember that weekend. I packed shakes and bars. I was humiliated, but I knew, well, these people know I'm hurting, but they don't really know how bad it is. I went home and 5 weeks later, I broke the company record to diamond. I became the fastest diamond in all 4 countries and made in an 8-week period, I earned $17,000. I knew nothing about 3-way calls. I knew nothing about network marketing. I had never done personal development. But let me explain why the mindset is so powerful. Because I knew beyond knew that I was going to solve my problems through this industry, and that if I could be one of those people, which I knew I would, I said, if not, why not me? If it happened for that guy, I was watching the people on stage, if it happened for this guy, and that lady's a little loopy, and this guy seems pretty down to earth and normal like me, why not me? That was my attitude. And I went home and all I did was 8421. I didn't care who told me no. I didn't care who hung up on me. And by the way, some people did. And I was ignorance on fire. But my mindset was this. It's okay who tells me no, because there's going to be people like me who are going to say yes. And that's all I care about. So when my kids would go to bed, even though I was still hiding my car from the repo guy, and our house was 2 months away from actual auction date, I burned those phone lines up because back then I wasn't on Facebook. Think about that. And my mindset said, I am going to do this. I became number 4 in that company only because my mind told me there was no failing for me, that I was in the right place and there was no way I could fail with such great mentors. Guys, you're in the same position. Now you have mentors who know even more than they did before. Me and Chris know way more than we did 10 years ago, 9 years ago. We're in a better company with an actual viral product. We're not selling shakes and bars. We're selling something that is ridiculously amazing that no one else has. And our company's doing record-breaking sales. The company I was in year 4, they were still at 4 million a month. What I just say we were at? Almost 20 million a month at the end of year 2. You guys, your mindset is what matters most. What you say to yourself tonight What you say to yourself in the morning, what you say to yourself when you're on a call, what you say to yourself matters. And I want you to make a decision that you will be a top earner, because the minute you believe that, and I mean, I knew it. What's weird is I know I'm going to be an 8-figure earner, and it's not because of what I'm doing here. I don't know why, but I know I will be an 8-figure earner. I know it. And that takes massive amounts of work. Think about that. Wrap your brain around that. Takes a massive amount of work, but guess where the work has to be done first? You have to win the battle here before you're going to win it on paper. And it's definitely not going to show up in your bank account unless you think you're worthy of it. And you're looking at someone who never felt worthy of much in her life. I did not grow up in a healthy household. Lots of dysfunction, lots of abuse, on top of being raped at 16 violently and having a lot of family members who did not believe in me. And to this day now, they're all my best friend. We knew you'd make it. Really? Because you guys were the ones who told me to quit. Guess what? You have that opportunity. I will never fail you. I will be here till the end. So get it in your head that it's on you to believe that you are worthy, and it's on you to get your mind right. I will suggest 2 books tonight that are musts. If you are a faith-filled person, Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer is the most incredible book for mindset that I've ever read. And actually, I never read it. I bought it on the 6 CD set, which you could probably buy now. Like, you can download it on Audible, I'm sure. Battlefield of the Mind changed my life, and it's the journey that I started. That was the first book ever my pastor gave me, and it started my 13-year run in personal development. I give that away as gifts at Christmas. I give it away to people who are hurting. I will never stop buying that and giving that as a gift, because it's life-changing stuff. She teaches you that your mind is literally a battlefield, and your job is to manage that field and get your crap in order, because the minute you do, the money falls in your lap. It's a fact. Life gets better when your mind gets better first. Jim Rohn says it, Tony Robbins says it, Danny Johnson says it. I could go on and on. Eric Worre, Ray Higdon, they all say the same thing. Get your mind right. And guess what? I still have demons in my mind, and I battle them every freaking day, but I get better and better at it. It's a daily thing you have to do. So that's number 1. Number 2, The Magic of Thinking Big. Phenomenal book. It teaches you to think bigger and bolder and believe more for yourself, that it takes the limits off of you. I don't want, Dana, I just see you down there. I don't want you to limit your life anymore from this day forward. I don't want, Carol, Ellen, I see all of you guys. Do not limit yourself anymore. You can have whatever you want. And I'm not talking money. I'm talking about the best of the best in every category you can imagine. But it takes disciplining your mind, and it's a process. But guess what? The benefits come as you're learning. So it's not like you have to wait 5, 10, 15 years to start receiving the abundance. It can come to you literally tomorrow. So, Magic of Thinking Big, Battlefield of the Mind. I'm going to give you a 3rd book, but if you have not read those 2 books, do not get this next book yet. Working with the Law. That one is unbelievable. Unfreaking believable book. I'm teaching it at Foxwoods. I don't care if you are across the country. You should be at Foxwoods this weekend. I'm doing the entire Working with the Law book on Friday. All right, guys, there's so much more I want to teach you tonight, but that was a lot. I'm going to be on again in a few weeks. I'm sure we'll come on again. But Working with the Law, I am teaching every bit of that book at Foxwoods. I have an hour and 10 minutes on stage, and I am going to drive that information home. We're also doing a social media blitz. We have the best social media people ever on stage Friday. It's going to be incredible. So Friday's a big day, and then Saturday, presentation, opportunity pres, and all kinds of, where are we going? What are the new products coming? There's so much cool stuff. But Working with the Law is a book that once you've done Battlefield of the Mind and once you've done The Magic of Thinking Big, amazing, amazing, amazing. So I hope that helped. Rachel or Kim, anyone, I'll hand it back to you guys. Just don't limit yourself. Guys, I had to have this mindset before the checks rolled in. I did not have the checks roll. I want to make sure I clarify. The checks did not roll in until I was first saying, I believe it. It's mine. It's coming to me. I don't know when or where or how, but I know it's coming. I always knew. I don't know why I knew, but I knew. And I want you to know beyond know that God has a massive plan for your life. And there is no reason why you should think anything other than, why not me? And then go after it. Just get your mind right. And if you need help with that, I'm starting a series with Jane Watson. It will be on the Team New You Life page right after Foxwoods. We're starting a weekly series on breaking the habit of being yourself and working with the law. And we are going to get everybody's minds right. And Kim, I'm going to throw it over to you. I think I saw that's who's going to take over. Love you guys. Amazing stuff. Don't beat yourself up. Just move forward every day in your business, a little bit at a time. Don't ever look back. Don't think about who's quit. Don't worry about who left. Worry about this. Nothing. Worry about nothing and start speaking really good things. More people are coming. Your team is building big. Declare it and you'll see it. You'll see it manifest. Okay. Love you guys.
We absolutely love you. And I just appreciate, I'm so fired up by what you shared and the three-way calls, everything you said about that, absolutely 100% true. I know that from experience. The mindset stuff, I'm just jazzed because I am going to be a millionaire and
Heck yeah.
I'm just so excited. So just thank you. We're
You're welcome.
so lucky to have you as a leader and to take the time to give to all of us. I know I speak for the team that we just appreciate everything you do for us. So
My pleasure.
Can't wait for the next time you're on the call and for the training in the New You Life page and everything that you do. I also want to thank everyone that was able to get on the call tonight. It is so powerful when you can get on a live call. So thank you. Everybody go out there, just like Danelle said, do a little bit every day. Have a great week. Bye-bye.